This is the first video in a series of videos I will be making about a repair that I did. I took a 4-foot skylight out and installed a 2-foot skylight out. And I think the value in this particular video series is going to be for anyone who is going to be doing this with a low sloping hot mopped rock roof. You can still get something out of it, but I think that's going to be the real value in this series. So let's go ahead and get started. I will be using pictures and videos throughout the process. I will be putting together a web page. I'll put it on the website, and of course there will be links to either a playlist for all of the videos or to the website in the video description area. So 4-foot skylight. The main reason why I am making it smaller is because of the heat that this baby produces in the summertime. And of course, the opposite in the winter. So in the summertime, this heats this whole bathroom up, and in the wintertime makes it a little colder. So that's the first reason. Second reason is that the skylight is not a common size. I could have used another method if I wanted to replace it, but this is a little larger skylight than you might find normally. And then, of course, there was a roof leak over here. So a couple of things why the area here was going to get repaired. And, of course, you can see the skylight, all of the cracks there, and real bad here. Now, it was this way 10 years ago. And it's still, this thing could have lasted another 10 years. If you have a skylight like this, does it need to be replaced? It depends on where you live. I live in Southern California. If I lived in an area where it hailed, maybe you got some sleet or even snow for that. Snow sitting on top of this might be a problem, then I think, I would replace it a little sooner than later. Now, I do want to point out, too, is I believe they used to refer to this as smoke colored. So this is supposed to be keeping the heat out, but let a little light in. Now, when I replaced this with a 2-foot one, I used one that was white. And there is just as much light, if not more. And I believe that would have had something to do with the tinted skylight or the smoke colored skylight that was used instead of the white one that's a little more reflective. Another view of it there. And of course I had to break this skylight dome out because the screws are attached on the inside. So this is skylight where the screws are attached on the inside, not on the outside. I could have just removed the drywall first, but let's face it, this thing wasn't going to fit into my trash can without taking it apart. So another reason, of course. Part of it on the ground there. Always nice to have tarps. And I'm kind of looking at this. You're probably thinking, oh, wait a minute, that's toxic mold. No, it's dirt. Don't get carried away with it there. And starting to take apart the drywall. And you can see right here is where one of the screws are. Of course, you can't see it too good, but you will here in a few seconds. There it is. There's one of the screws. Here's the frame and, of course, the curbing. And something else I noticed here, you kind of have, looks like you got a water leak. Usually going to happen in the corners. And, of course, it's going to be located at the bottom instead of the top most of the time. But it's not uncommon to have some type of water damage, water leaking, creating the damage. And here you can see where it's stained. You can see all of this right here is where it's all stained. So water did come in here at one time, at least, to stain it. But we didn't have any problems with it leaking. It didn't leak. The only problem we had was the condensation that would form when we were taking a hot shower or a hot bath. It would form on the dome and then leak around the perimeter of the drywall. So now we have the frame out. You can see frames out. We have our curbing around the drywall, around the skylight opening. view of the little shelf there. Simply just I put some OSB on there. Another view of it there. And of course it's going to be nice, and you'll see here in a little bit, to remove the rocks away from the perimeter if you have rocks on your roof, so that they don't fall into the inside of the opening or even into the ceiling area that will eventually be covered. That's something I don't really like. Tarp, nice and clean. I like to clean my stuff as I go. What can I say? I'll pick up my trash, get a nice fresh area to work with again. And then the next step will be to remove the curbing and some of the roofing here. And you can see here where I have removed the rocks. I think I just brought a vacuum cleaner up here and just I vacuum the rocks into the vacuum cleaner, and then I can respread them out later. The rocks are going to have dirt in them, so it might not be a good idea to reuse that when you reapply the tar, of course. Another view of it there. So again, the curbing is right here that needs to come up, not the sheathing or the framing. And again, you don't want to be pulling up the roofing and then have the rocks fall in there. So there the curbing is gone. And kind of see here, just kind of wanted to go around the perimeter here and show you that this is pretty good. Wasn't like there was any water leaking here, at least none that I can see, unless it was covered somehow by the paint. This looks like it could have had some water on it. Another view of it. There's the curbing removed and starting to frame it in. Now, the reason why I'm not taking off the roofing is I want to get the sheathing down. I want to install the sheathing, and then that way I don't have to worry about all the little crud falling into this area. And again, you can already see here there's some little crud that's falling in here. I'm probably going to vacuum that out anyway before I put the sheathing on, but just another step that you can use to prevent stuff from accumulating in your ceilings. So I have framed the skylight opening. The skylight is 22.5 inches by 22.5 inches. The opening is going to be a little smaller. So I believe I made the opening a 1/2 inch smaller. Pretty sure this is 22 by 22. Reason for that is to allow for the sheet metal. And I might have made it 22.25, not sure, but allow for the sheet metal. If you just measure the opening and frame it to be tight, and then you put your sheet metal on, you are not going to be able to get the skylight on. So give yourself some area. Make this a little smaller than the rough opening of the skylight. So using some pressure blocks. Not using joist hangers. Joist hangers, feel free to use them if you want. I don't think they need to be used everywhere. I mean, I see people build something like this and there's joist hangers and straps. I just don't get it. So feel free to use them if you want. I'm fine with my pressure blocks and toenailing the joist into the perimeter of the original skylight. Another view. The blocks here are also going to provide us with nailing for our sheathing when we go to put the next piece of plywood on. Another view there. And this looks like it's done. Nice perimeter. We got some joists ready for our plywood. Pressure blocking here, and of course here is the opening. And that is it for video number 1. I will put a link to the next video at the end of each one of the videos. And I will create a web page on our website that will have a list of all the videos, just in case you don't want to watch all of them, you just want to watch a few of them. And that link will be in the video description box.